On this week's show, Affirm is forgiving all outstanding loans in Australia.
Plus, a new spring sale on hardware. The ride and run to greatness has started, and much, much more.
Welcome to Pelo Buddy TV, a show for the Peloton community by the Peloton community. Here are your hosts, John Pruitt and John Mills.
Welcome to episode 121 of Pelo Buddy TV, a show for the Peloton community by the Peloton community. I am John Pruitt. I am joined by a very special guest filling in for Amanda while she is recovering from surgery. He needs no introduction, Mr. John Mills. Thanks for coming back.
Oh, absolutely. Anytime. I enjoy it. I enjoy hanging with you guys. So yeah, please ask whenever you guys need me. I'll be here.
Glad we didn't scare you off the last time.
No. This is fun stuff. After this, I have to actually work for a living. It's horrible.
Yeah,
terrible stuff.
You got to pay some bills.
Right.
Yeah, me too.
Good stuff. And love to Amanda. Hope all is well.
Yep, she is. She's doing good. She said a lot of her pain is gone. You know, her neck pain that she was experiencing is gone now. She's just recovering from the pain from the surgery. So
right.
Sounds like it was a success. So
awesome. That's good stuff.
Yeah. So good week here. I don't know about you, Peloton wise, if you had a good week of workouts.
Yeah. My workouts are picking back up. Like I had gotten to this lull because of like other responsibilities and, outside things that I had to take care of. So like my workout had gotten really inconsistent because of all of that. And so Now finally I'm back to regular routine. So yeah, this week I was able to get some classes in and I'm kind of back. So it's good stuff.
Yeah. I had a good week. I did I actually got up for a 6 a.m. class, which is kind of a struggle. I got up for the row boot camp with Adrian on Wednesday morning, which was good. Yeah. Trying to get into a regular, at least more than one row class a week to justify the payments that I'm making on that piece of equipment. I got to start using it more because Jackie keeps saying oh, do you want to sell it? She keeps throwing that out there. I'm like, dude, we're not getting rid of this.
That's the pressure.
Come on.
That's the pressure to use it. That's right.
I love it.
Right. I mean, people praise the full body workout that you get from rowing and I can see why, the motions and, the structure of how you're supposed to, to perform that row motion. I can see why you'd get a really good workout out of it. So that's one of those things that I'm considering. I haven't bought yet, but I got the FOMO, so I might come.
I've seen a couple on the buys. I'm sure you've seen them too on Facebook. Some people posting at some pretty decent prices too. So you could score one on the secondary market for a pretty reduced price.
Yeah, that's news to me.
Anyway,
I didn't know that. I'm gonna check that out.
Yeah. So anyway, before we get started, Mr. Mills, we always like to remind everyone how they can keep up to date with all of our content across all the platforms. Every episode, of course, is on YouTube. You make sure you hit subscribe and click notifications. Also, breaking news is also released on the YouTube channel. But if you're on the move, you can also just listen to us. We're on all podcast platforms. Hit subscribe there, click notifications so you never miss an update. And lastly, we are on all social media platforms, Twitter, Facebook, Instagram, as well as TikTok too. So like us, follow us on those pages. Please leave us those great reviews. We love reading some of them. We also appreciate a lot of the constructive feedback we get on how we can add and improve to the show. So keep those coming. And why don't we just jump right into it, John, and get right into the show?
Let's do it.
First, let's do a rundown of the latest Pelo news.
All right. Well, first up, if you're an Australian member, it's your lucky week. And if you had financing through Affirm for your bike or your Bike Plus or your Peloton Guide, it is your lucky day because Affirm is waiving the outstanding loan balances that members in Australia have on their equipment. This is a result of them deciding to cease operations in Australia last month. This only applies to the region of Australia. It's not affecting US, Canada, UK members. But Affirm has begun emailing qualifying Australia-based Peloton members to inform them. Paraphrasing a little bit, they say, as a valued customer, we want to let you know we've made the decision to wind down our operations in Australia as of February 28th. We no longer offer a financing option for Peloton products in Australia. So this means you won't be able to use them as a financing option going forward. But here's the good news. To ensure a seamless experience as we exit the market, we've decided to forgive the remaining balance of your Affirm loans that you took out for the purchase of your Peloton products. So that means starting the 21st of this month, you do not need to make any additional payments. This email has apparently not gone out to every single member affected. But however, members have called into Affirm and have confirmed the same information that other members did receive via this communication. The support page also reiterates that all loan balances are being waived / forgiven, and you still get to keep your product. So that's pretty awesome. So it essentially means anyone who purchased in Australia, who purchased the Bike Plus, or the Guide with Affirm financing, you don't have to make any more payments. You're good. You're free and clear on your device. I mean, it would have been pretty sweet if you could get the tread. Imagine if you had your tread balance waived.
Right.
Exactly. Right. But earlier this month, we had also mentioned, and Peloton had shared, that they would be swapping their financing partner in Australia from Affirm to now working with Zip. And they published a support page with additional info, and this change was effective March 1st of this year. But that's pretty awesome. I mean, you got to be pretty happy if you owe if you just bought your bike and you owe $2,000 on it.
Right.
You essentially have free hardware now.
That's exactly what I was thinking. Oh my goodness, that is like Christmas in March. I mean,
Seriously,
that is awesome right there.
It's like student loan forgiveness, vibes.
Right. I'm wondering if we'll kind of see those that benefited from this on social channels, talking about what they saved because of it. Right. That's really awesome. I love it.
I'm curious what I don't know if they consider it a write-off or whatever they do, but I'm curious how much in loan forgiveness there is for outstanding loans down there for Australian members.
I'm guessing it. I mean, it's just a guess. Right? I'm guessing it can't be too extraordinary. Otherwise, they wouldn't be doing it, I would guess. But I don't know. That is, but that's awesome. Lucky them.
Seriously, can't complain.
Right? Yeah. That's not anything to complain about. Well, okay. Let's jump into the next one. Peloton has launched a sale on all their hardware device packages, Bike Plus, Tread, and Guide in Australia. This is being advertised as an autumn savings and is being offered through April 3rd. The savings is $600 off. Peloton has now also launched a similar sale in the U.S., offering $400 off Bike Plus, Tread, and Row packages, excluding the basic package. So it's all those additional packages above basic. And $150 off the Guide package. They're also doing a limited time 0% financing offer for 12, 24, and 43 months on the Bike Plus, Row, and Tread, and 0% for 12, 24, or 39 months on the Bike. Wow, that's. I mean, I couldn't remember if this is just kind of a common thing that they do around this time of year, or if it's just it's a new thing. Relative to this time of year, kind of sparking interest going into spring and summer. I don't know. I don't know if you know, John.
Yeah, I don't remember it being seasonal.
Yeah.
I feel like, if it was, we'd have control room buzzing in right now.
Yeah, I think, but that's pretty cool offering. And I know I've been seeing like hints in some of the financial news sectors about Peloton's uptick in sales and how well they had done on Amazon and some other places over the last couple months. So I'm like hopeful that maybe this will like spark, some additional kind of, push as they kind of turn this ship around, right? Yeah. That's good stuff.
Yeah.
I love it.
Well, we had our first ride/run to greatness practice round that went down Wednesday night. It was a practice ride with Alex leading it on the stage on the bike, and Team Activate on one side in red jerseys, and Team Validate on the other side in black jerseys. So Jen Sherman, Jess Sims were both in the studio. There was, I don't know if it was members, employees, combination of both, but it was a full studio. Okay, members were there, and it was just a practice round. It was 30 minutes, but it was fun. Alex kicked it off with Rob Bass's "It Takes Two." He kind of got nostalgic with Jen Sherman because they played that on their 2-for-1 ride. So you could definitely feel Alex was definitely giving plenty of love to Team Validate, especially because he's so close to Jen Sherman.
Right.
They're real tight. And Jess Sims was kind of annoyed by it too, because at one point Alex, I watched I didn't have a chance to take it. I watched it on my iPad. And at one point Alex just turns over to Jess like, "How you doing, Jess?" And she just goes, "Oh, shut up, Alex." But the studio, it was funny. The studio was pretty much completely dark, with except Alex. And then when you would cut to Jen or Jess, they would have a very specific spotlight just shining on them. So it was way different sort of lighting package for this one that I noticed, because usually the studio is pretty well lit.
Yeah.
All the bikes are pretty well lit up, especially in the front row.
Yeah.
But no, it was music was good. It was a lot of hip hop. I did notice Alex had like his mic messed up in the last 2 minutes, so they had to quickly do they did a camera angle change, and then someone quickly ran on, swapped his mic out. Pretty seamless. But the very first ride, so this is just practice round, so there's no point tally, there's no winner of the practice round, but we have the first round on the bike that went down yesterday, Saturday the 25th. It was a 20-minute ride. Like I said before, I'm choosing Team Validate just because I love Jen Sherman. I'll always support whatever side or wherever she is. And Team Validate has won, I believe, the first two of the series. This is, the third ride run to greatness now. So, yeah, obviously we're filming this before it's taking place, so we don't know who the winner is. I'm going to say it's probably Validate. Go out on a limb there. Maybe we'll film another segment, saying Activate barely won or something, but it went down. Yeah, hopefully
if they win, that'll be
a good turnout.
If they win, that'll be the three-peat, right? If they win this time.
Three-peat, right? Yeah. And also, so the run. Oh yeah, so the run. Okay, so it all factors in. Yeah, all the points. Good point. Control room. I did notice there was also a cool down, a scheduled encore cool down before the actual live 20-minute ride. So that was at 11:45, and then there's also a warm up, a 10-minute ride to greatness warm up before the actual competition ride at noon, and then there's also an encore right after the ride ended, a warm up ride with Alex that's labeled as a 10-minute AT's ride to greatness cool down. So if you had a chance to take those, nice little trifecta of ride to greatness pairings there. But just to remind, we went over it last week. There's only one round on the bike. So next week now, that's the tread team's turn. So you have training on the tread on the 29th. That's the train night. And then on Saturday the 1st, that's the competition day for the tread. I assume it's also the 20-minute run to greatness tread run as well. And then all the points are going to be tallied up, and we'll see how much, Validate wins by at that point.
This is it's one of those things that's like really exciting to me, but like things go bad for me when I try to go over the top in competition.
Yeah.
And so,
Hey, it's 20
especially on the
20
tread.
minutes.
But it's only
Yeah,
20
yeah.
minutes.
20 minutes is good. That's my sweet spot on the tread. But 20 minutes on the bike, that flies by.
Right. Yeah. So yeah, I'm gonna be on.
You validate? Are you validate or activate? I can't remember what your tech. You validate?
Yeah. So I was validate originally. So then I said, I'm gonna follow Jess Sims. I'm gonna go to activate. Now Erica's all upset, because she was activate and it met it, created the in-house competition. So
It's a little
she's trying to
rift.
push
Yeah.
me back. She like saying she won't accept me on activate. She's trying to push me back to validate.
Yeah. See, I was activate and we always lost. So I don't feel that bad switching sides this time. Change it up.
Right.
I see how it sounds like
you. I like you. I didn't take the practice, and so I listened to the class back, and I saw some images from it, but I did more kind of listen to it. It looked like, and maybe this was just my perception of my phone looking at it. It looked like Jen and Jess were like their bikes were positioned in front a little of the road. Was I just seeing that, or was that
they were?
Or maybe,
maybe they.
highlight.
Yeah. They were in kind of those like two corners in the front row. Like kind of directly at an angle in front of Alex, but maybe they pushed him. Maybe and also the spotlight, like they had just a spotlight directly on them, just shining them. So
yeah,
obviously it made them stand out a little more.
Yeah,
from the rest
love
of
the
the
whole
group.
imagery. Yeah, I love the whole imagery. I love how it looked. I love the contrast with the different jerseys on each side of the class, and the whole thing was really cool. I mean, I know, it's, a way for us to kind of have fun while we're working out and have a little bit of competition and create some energy, while also kind of supporting each other. But it's fun for me. I love this.
I like it.
It's really cool.
I especially like having the plasma TV on there, and Alex walks over to and they cut to the screen for the current point total. Yeah, I love the competition. When there's someone that I see that I'm racing with that I get real into it with, it makes me work harder. So
yeah,
I love these things.
Yeah, that innately happens for me too. It's not always good though. I just end up going too hard sometimes. Like I gotta learn how to I don't know, moderate when I'm in competition.
Yeah, you gotta pace yourself. I know, especially when I get the heart rate going.
Yeah.
Oh, and also we have to remind everyone, so if you want your output to count towards your team's total, you have to add either the team activate or the team validate tag to your profile, and it has to be your primary tag on the race or the ride day. So that means it has to be the tag that shows up below your leaderboard name, when you're doing it live on the leaderboard, obviously. So don't forget to do that. I don't want to see some jabroni. I don't want to see some jabroni on a jacked bike, first on the leaderboard with some random tag. You're not helping anything, especially if you have a jacked bike. Yeah.
Oh yeah, that reminds me. If Erica lets me on to the team, I'll have to change my tags. That's a good reminder.
Yeah. Definitely got to do that.
Cool. Well, there's a new Shakira ride that dropped with Camila Ramon. The class will be in Spanish, and it'll be premiering today on Thursday, March 23rd. And there are other Camila Ramon, there are other Shakira rides that are in the catalog. This will probably be listed along with those. I think this is awesome that they're pushing now even more into classes that either highlight artists or languages that are other than our standard, like Spanish language classes. I think that's a market or an area that I don't know if they've really kind of doubled down in, and we know that's a large population of folks that speak Spanish. So I love seeing this. And myself also, I was born and raised in San Diego, and that community is very diverse. And there's a large Spanish community, and a lot of the people I grew up with, this was kind of a lacking element to Peloton, having these type of classes. So I think this is really cool. And Camila's so cool. I met her at the New York City Marathon last year, I think it was. Oh, she was so kind to me. It was, I'd never met her before. She didn't know me from Adam. We're like, we're just kind of chit-chatting for a second. And her energy just came through, just like you see in social media or in her classes. And so, yeah, that was a treat for me. So like, I love it from that perspective as well.
She's one of the only ones I haven't met yet. Her and Kendall, I've yet to meet, but I love that she teaches. She just has she teaches regularly in Spanish now on the tread and the bike. And obviously Peloton knows there's a need. They do their research and they're so data driven. So obviously it's probably, there's a huge need for it, but I think she's filling it perfectly, with her energy and personality that everyone just seems to love so much, especially with the Mila Mafia, her instructor group.
And then Shakira, I mean, like that's got to be, there's a lot of fans of Shakira, so I'm sure that I know they didn't list this as an artist series, but still, just to have a class just based on Shakira's music, I think is going to drive some interest. So that's pretty cool.
Yeah, I think it's nice that they can do an artist class with just all that artist music without actually having it to be an artist series, because I know they're limited to when they playlist the class, they can't use one particular artist more than 2 of their songs. Like that's one of their little like restrictions. So it's nice that they can still do it this way and not have it like be such a big deal like artist series. And maybe they can do that more easily when it's not considered an artist series.
Gotcha. Yeah, I didn't know that.
Some other new content. We had a new postnatal yoga class with Anna Greenberg. It dropped on demand on the 23rd. We don't have any details yet because I don't think it's actually dropped yet at the time of recording, but it's a 4th trimester yoga class, which you can find in the prenatal, postnatal yoga plus meditation section on the Peloton library. But it should have gone on demand sometime this past Thursday morning. And obviously we'll have more on it next week's episode once it drops.
It's interesting how, we've got so many instructors now that are like new moms, which, kind of makes sense now to kind of have content relative to like how their journey in life is progressing. It's like, it's another part
exactly,
of
yeah,
larger like story. Like we're kind of like watching them evolve, right? And then the content has kind of like evolved with them. Right.
In their teachings. Yeah.
Yeah. Pretty cool.
Kind of cool.
Yeah.
I'm really looking forward to Selena being back. I've really missed Selena, and she'll be back next month. But yeah, I've really missed her classes and her on the platform.
Look like, I mean, when I see her content on Instagram and all, it's like she's out here grinding, right? Like she's like back in the fold of like trying to work out hard and like getting back. Like, yeah. I'm looking forward to her coming back as well.
She's getting her sun in down in Florida. It looks like I see the palm trees when she's out running around. So she's not freezing, her butt off in the tri-state area.
Yeah, not like the rest of us. That's right.
Yeah.
Peloton has a few special new classes that dropped on Sunday, March 19th in honor of UK Mother's Day. There's a 30-minute UK Mother's Day run with Suzy Chan, a 10-minute UK Mother's Day core strength with Jermaine Johnson, and a 20-minute UK Mother's Day ride with Bradley Rose. Peloton also dropped UK Mother's Day apparel the same day. That's interesting. I missed the apparel, and I'm not sure if I can still see it on the site. I tried to go there to kind of check out, like, what did it look like? What was that?
I only saw one item, and it was a Peloton mum.
I saw that
running tank. That's the only one I saw, and it said there was only 3 left, but it was reduced in price at 28 pounds from originally 58 pounds. But that's the only item that I could find.
Oh, okay. Yeah, so maybe that, I don't know if there was, that was what it was limited to, or if there was, control room says there was a, gotcha. Okay, control room says there was a bronze capri as well. So, yeah, like, look, I guess that must have sold out. Now they're down to the one item. So hopefully that did well there. Oh, it's still there. It's still there. So yeah, all cool stuff. It reminded me that, it's like a good precursor to prepare for Mother's Day in May, right? And here in the U.S., that these activities are happening in the U.K. And of course, we all love our moms. So anything that we see relative to like celebrating Mother's Day, I'm kind of fond of. That's good stuff.
Well, we had the first German London calling event that took place over this past weekend at Peloton Studios London. So Benny had previously described it as German member weekends. They're designated weekends where we purposely schedule a full program of live member classes with our German instructors across the cycling and tread. We give a full opportunity to meet the German community, the instructors, and there were 4 German calling member weekends in 2023 that they announced, spreading over the rest of the year. This past weekend was the first one, but there were still a few English language classes those weekends, in particular on Thursday, Friday, and Monday of that weekend block. But the focus on Saturday and Sundays will be live German classes. Now, Peloton had recently changed that studio policy where, you can only book 4 classes in a weekend, but those limits do not apply to the London calling classes. I don't believe those limits apply in general to Peloton Studios London. I didn't encounter that issue when I was there last month. But also one thing to notice that there's specific London calling credits that you can purchase for those designated classes if you were to book a class online with PSL, and those are only £15. Normally, a class experience credit is £25, which is about $31 US. But these ones are a little less expensive. Obviously, they can only be used for those designated London calling classes, but it's kind of nice, having a little reduced price there for them. But it'll be interesting to see. We'll have more to report next weekend and post on social media once obviously the weekend is all done. But it'll be fun to see. I'm sure they have lots of fun stuff planned for the German community, so I'm sure they're in for a treat.
Yeah, that's good stuff. I think anytime we have like special events or things like that in these other markets, I think it's really, really good and kind of pushing the brand out there. My mind is always thinking from like that perspective. I'm like an investor, like many are, and so I just love anything that's going to kind of push that narrative of like globalization, member satisfaction, and more events, things that kind of get other people to feel what we feel about the brand, right?
Well, it's nice. It's also nice that I feel like the German instructors, they don't get enough press. They don't get enough attention. So it's always nice when they have something special like this just for them to bring in, and obviously, they don't fill the classes as quickly, especially if the classes are in German at PSL. So it's great that they do this, and, they feel the love too, because they deserve it just as much as the other instructors.
Yeah, they're athletes as well. They're good at what they do as well. So I absolutely agree. That's great. Peloton implemented 2 different new iOS 16 features called Live Activities and Dynamic Island. These features were added in version 15.50.0 of the Peloton iOS app, which was released on March 3rd. With the new Live Activities feature, if you are using iOS 16 and have iPhone home screen that supports widgets, you may have received a pop-up notification that reads Allow Live Activities from Peloton when starting a workout from your Peloton app. This feature allows Peloton to show a widget on the lock screen, allowing you to look at your phone at a glance, even if the screen is locked, and still get an overview of metrics. It displays heart rate, calories burned while taking the class. Note that currently this only seems to be appearing when you are taking a class through the app. It isn't able to pair with your bike, tread, or row and display stats in the widget from the hardware device. The feature also works when completing an outdoor class via the Peloton app. When doing an outdoor run, the Live Activities feature will display your pace and distance. However, even if you have a heart rate monitor, it will not display heart rate metrics as it is using the space it would normally display your heart rate for the more specific running metrics. Also included in this app update is dynamic island functionality, which is currently only available for iPhone 14 Pro and Pro Max owners. The dynamic island will display the Peloton app at the top of the screen, even when utilizing other tabs or apps while working out. This allows you to easily navigate back to the Peloton app without having to toggle through your phone. Note that the dynamic island app only appears when completing a class via the Peloton app, also not on a bike, tread, or row device. The dynamic island feature can also work in conjunction with the live activities. If you press and hold the Peloton icon shown at the top center of the screen, it will briefly show the stats widget over whatever app you are currently using. And alternatively, if you press and hold the smaller icon that shows the instructor image, it will show the class control widget, allowing you to pause or resume or simply see where you are in the class. Note that if you do not like the new live activity widget, you can also disable it in your settings. So when I was reading about this and checking it all out, yeah, it seems like kind of a cool thing that would work well for an app user. Kind of makes sense. Someone who's just kind of taking a class from the app on the go, perform an activity like outdoor running made a lot of sense to me, right? So I think it's kind of cool. I haven't used it, so I can't talk to the usability of it, but it seems pretty neat.
Yeah, I mean, I pretty much when I use the app outside of just, going into the schedule, counting myself in, I use it almost every day for just like the outdoor walking, like tracking when I walk the dogs for, 30 minutes, which is nice.
Yeah.
And it seems pretty accurate with all the metrics it gives. And then I like how it shows like the map of my whole journey, around the neighborhood, the whole like red line that it creates.
Right. Yeah.
But yeah, iOS users, we got it good. We're kind of spoiled with, getting most updates first and getting good ones.
Yeah, that's been kind of a consistent thing. Yeah. The iOS.
Yeah, they definitely. I'm sure the user base is way, way more skewed towards iOS than compared to Android. So obviously that's the primary focus first, updating, making tweaks to it.
It's funny, because my personal phone is an Android phone, but for work I have an iPhone, and I purposely asked for an iPhone at work from a Peloton perspective because I wanted to be able to see features that were occurring that I may not get on my own phone. Like you would think I would just get an iPhone.
Yeah.
But so now I have both, right? So I can kind of see these new things. It's kind of cool.
Nice. Get both worlds.
Yeah.
Well, that wraps up the regular update portion. Let's get right into instructors in the news. And first item is about Robin Arzon. So she has officially announced a journal that she is putting out. She announced her guided journal last Wednesday. It's called Welcome Hustler, an Empowerment Journal. We first shared this news a few weeks ago, but you can find the details that we have on pelobuddy.com. That there's a write-up for it also. It's linked in the bio on the Pelo Buddy Instagram page as well. It's going to be released in September, right around the corner. But Robin had shared it via her Instagram page, which is interesting. The photo of her was taken by DJ John Michael's partner, Brian King. And I do notice, not to bring up negative stuff, but people, they seem to when they want to share their negative opinion about it, they definitely do it with Robin, because there were several comments that just weren't. It's just a journal, but people, people that seem to be negative about it are vocal about it as well.
Yeah, I mean, I guess I've been thinking about that. She's had a lot of as we kind of watch the Peloton instructors kind of evolve and kind of grow with culture. It seems like she's been really consistent and has a lot of things going on, right? And including this book and her other books. And her other ventures.
So I make children's books. Yeah.
That children, it makes me wonder, like, this is the kind of stuff we might start seeing the more they, the more they get engulfed into just being common kind of, entities in pop culture. You start seeing kind of the other elements, perspectives of,
yeah.
Release.
I mean, definitely her, Cody, Allie. I mean, they all have their own brands. So, I mean, we're definitely like all these brand partnerships. Obviously, Selena's with New Balance and Olivia Puma. I mean, Cody seems like just a total brand whore. Like he's always partnering with something like soap or toothpaste. He's getting the check. He's getting the checks. Yeah.
You gotta love it because, if you think about it, it's like they've got an amazing opportunity. Like they're amazing fitness instructors. They're on this platform that allows them to be, in our homes, broadcast into our homes, and millions of homes. And yeah, they've got to be getting offers and, opportunities to. And why not capitalize on it?
Hey, more power to them. More power to them.
Yeah.
Getting their name out.
Right.
It's not. I mean, and also to add to the point, like they're not just like slinging timeshares in Las Vegas. It's like this is stuff that they well, at least they act like they really are passionate about it, that they use. So it's not like they're just slapping their name on some random product, like Jen Sherman. Like I know she's got like Beauty Pie skincare products, which I love. So good for them. More power to them.
More power to them. The one thing that I do think sometimes I go, wow, that if you're in the locker room, you're an instructor in the locker room at Peloton, and you're one of the elite instructors that are getting all of these endorsements and opportunities, do those other instructors that may not be getting those same opportunities yet, like, do they feel some kind of way? Does it give them like something to like strive for? Like, what's the dynamic there? I sometimes think about that. Right?
I mean, I feel like also, I'm sure they all get offers or deals, but obviously a lot of them aren't into that. Like I don't see Andy Spear ever endorsing Dennis. I don't think I've seen him like endorse, so maybe it's just not their like maybe they just don't want to do that. Maybe, it's their own thing. They just want to coach. They want to have their own time and not be a poster child for some company or brand. I'm sure they're all getting some good offers.
You bring up a very good point, especially when you mention Dennis, because I know he's a really good guy, and I know his perspective I could understand why it might be a little different with regards to some offerings or things that might come at him. So, yeah, I got you.
And he's not. Yeah,
it makes sense.
He doesn't like. He's probably the least active of all the instructors on social media because he just doesn't. He's not that into it. So I respect that. Yeah. Respect that.
I absolutely do too. He's a good guy. One of my favorite people is Dennis.
Yeah.
Cool. Well, Tunde spoke at an event in Rochester, New York, I believe, at Dick's Sporting Goods in Eastview Mall in the town. Actually, it says in Victor, not Rochester, in a town called Victor. She talked about the importance of fitness and the spiritual importance of working out with a group of people with goals that you share, right? She talks about tapping into the extended or greater version of yourself by virtue of movement, community, and connection. And the attendees of the event also got a signed copy of her book. I think that's pretty cool. At any time, first of all, the concept of community around fitness is something that I think is a necessary. For me, it is. Because I see kind of fitness as, a tough thing to kind of keep that consistency year over year. So if you have like a community of people or have a common mindset around, a goal of some type of goal around their fitness, whatever it is, it kind of helps you stay in the mindset. regardless of if they're like an accountability partner. I'm not really talking about that. It's just that they have a common mindset and you're in this community of people and you guys talk. It just innately kind of helps you stay in that culture of, fitness. So when she talked about community, like to me, that's right up my alley. I love that concept. But also having her out and about, wherever the instructors are sent, to have conversation where community members can go and see them. It's awesome that they can see Tunde, but it generates that same thing again. Now you got all these community members in the same place, right? So they meet new people and then they can have that, more conversation that generates
and social interaction.
Right.
Yeah.
Yeah. I love the whole thing that they do this. And then they got a free book from Tunde. So that's pretty cool.
I'm looking forward to seeing, you mentioned like the social out and about interactions with community. I'm looking forward to seeing when we're going to get some more info on the homecoming plans that they have for this year.
Yes.
What cities, if it's going to be at showrooms. I'm really curious to see, what's next, what the next announcement is about that.
Because their ad, right, on social said, "We're coming to you."
We're coming to you.
So,
yeah.
Yeah. So what does that mean? Does that mean there's going to be a traveling thing? There's going to be like certain events on common days and a bunch of showrooms? Are there going to be like independent, facilities where something's happening in a bunch of towns? Like I got all kinds of stuff that's going through my head. I don't know what that meant, but I'm looking forward to it too.
I know. I'm hoping it's like the ESPN game day bus, the Peloton touring bus of like this Peloton circus,
right,
coming to city. I just hope they come to Michigan or do something nearby, maybe Chicago, in the Midwest. Hopefully,
yeah.
One can hope.
I love Chicago.
But yeah. I need to get some more updates on that. I'm kind of waiting on bated breath. Anyway, Susie Chan, she just ran another ultra last weekend as she trains for her next ultra marathon. She hit a new 50-mile race personal best. She did this race last Saturday down in Bald Head, North Carolina. It was part of the Badwater Cape Fear series that they have going on. But she did it in a little over 8 hours, which is 51 miles on Saturday. And then she was back in London on the following Tuesday, filming classes. So like, just amazing. I don't know how she's just a machine.
That's in 51 miles. Oh my goodness. My knees and hips just started hurting, simultaneously.
It's crazy.
That is wild. And then to go in as a fitness trainer and teach a class. Oh,
yeah.
Wow. That is amazing stuff right there. I'm actually like trying to like start back into, my running journey and trying to get back to a point where I can, do some type of, shorter run. My mindset isn't even on a marathon yet, much less an ultra. Like I'm not there yet. Like I'm just thinking like, can I get to a point where I can complete like a 10K? Can I get to a 10K? Right. So hearing things like this, that is very inspirational. That's pretty cool.
I've only done 5Ks, and when we mentioning Chicago, when Jackie and I lived in Chicago for 4 years, I did the JP Morgan, the 5K marathon, which was fun, but it's like, I don't think I could do any. I don't think maybe mentally now I could probably handle a little bit longer, but back then never running or having a treadmill or working out really. 5K just seemed grueling to me, even though I wasn't, going balls out. I just looked forward to like the food tent afterwards with all, the free beverages and snacks that we had access to, because back then I worked for JP Morgan, so it was nice to give you a little time off, on race day. So
yeah, that's similar to me. Like the only thing I've ever done really is like a 5K, and so that's why my aspiration is like much lower than what Susie just did. It's like I just want to do a 10K.
Most people's are
right. So yeah, that's my goal right now. We'll see how far I get on that. Well, cool. So also, Marcel was invited to be the host of Shamrock Marathon this past weekend in Virginia Beach, Virginia. She was invited to be the host. This was also her birthday weekend. So she spent time there with members of her Marcel's Army group. I saw some of their photos and some of the things that they posted on Instagram, and there are some folks that I follow and or who follow me, and or some folks that support my Alex Brienne Corporation nonprofit that were also there. So they sent me some of the pictures that they took with Marcel at the event, and that was so kind of her. Like, I know she's there as the host, but then to spend time with her tribe, Marcel's Army, to hang out, and it looked like they must have had a meal together as well, to just talk and chat and
little
take
outing.
pictures. Yeah, they had a little outing, a little get together. I thought was pretty cool. The guy I know, his name is Josh. I think he's from the New England area around Boston. So, and this all happening in Virginia, I'm just now all piecing it together that, some folks traveled into this, this event. So that's pretty cool, which, doesn't surprise me at all. These instructors are amazing. So I've traveled for them many a time. So that's some cool stuff.
Nice. Well, that wraps up the instructor in the news. Why don't we head right into picks of the week? And I believe you've got the first two to kick us off.
Sure. Yeah, awesome. So the first pick of the week is Emma Lovewell's 20-minute hit ride from March 16th of this year at 10 a.m. Eastern Time. This one was submitted by Daisy, #DaisyMac. She says she didn't have a backward hat on, but should have. It's a very challenging ride. So it sounds like it must have been tough. But yeah, I love Emma. So that's pretty. That sounds like one I would probably enjoy as well. And the next one we have is Christine D'Erclay's 30-minute St. Patrick's Day ride from March 17th of this year at 4 a.m. Eastern Time. It was submitted by #HR Superhero and #JI9601. And they say it was a slow burn climb on Irish rock, and I loved it. It was a slow burn climb to Irish rock, and I loved it. Her ones from previous years have been great as well. So that's awesome. Good stuff.
Well, we got a 30-minute sleep meditation from Ross Rayburn from the 17th. Cindy 8237 and Amajar 3 gave us this one. They said, always having more of the extra long sleep meditations, even if I don't make it through. Always great. Thank you for that correction there. Always great having more of the extra long sleep meditations, even if I don't make it through more than the first few minutes. So true. Next up, Cody and his live DJ ride with DJ John Michael, 30 minutes from the 17th as well. We got this from DMarG29. They said energy was great, music was amazing. I did this one on demand, and there's always great moments. John Michael and Cody are just the best with the banter back and forth. But I don't know if you ever you remember back in the day at 23rd Street when there would be live DJ rides, but we would have all these other random DJs.
Yeah, I remember.
I couldn't even remember the names. There'd be other men, there'd be some female DJs and some other guys. And I just remember, like, there was this one female DJ with Cody. It was just zero chemistry. She had no personality. And I just remember there was very little interaction. And they used to be right on stage, right next to him, like 2 inches away from the bike. Yeah. So it's interesting to see. I love that DJ John Michael is just, the one and only. He's the in-house DJ. Because he gets along so well, and he just does his own show from that little spot that they put him on with his little DJ booth there. But those are always fun. Even Adrian too. I got to shout out the DJ rides with the runs with DJ John Michael and Adrian too.
That's a specific skill set in my mind. I mean, it's one thing you're DJing in a club, and it's your job to kind of hype and keep the crowd entertained. Like it's an entirely different thing if you're a disc jockey on, public airways and radio station. And it's an entirely different thing if you're now in a fitness genre next to a fitness instructor who's running the class. And now you have to have banter and you got to have chemistry and
You got to have the personality.
while you're
you have to match the energy. Yeah.
right while you're actually DJing and doing your structure. But I think that makes sense. There would have been others when we were on 23rd Street. That's a skill set. That's a John Michael thing. So yeah, that's pretty cool.
For sure.
Cool. So we also have another class pick, Bradley Rose's 30-minute 80s ride from March 18th at 8 a.m. Eastern time. That came to us from #SpeechMD and Amajar3. They say Rose's Rebels took over the studio for this class to celebrate his Peloversary, and the playlist had B-52s and Milli Vanilli. That's right. Well, see, you can't hate on Milli Vanilli. I mean, it was rocking until we found out. It's still rocking. I like Milli Vanilli.
Don't sleep on don't sleep on Blame It on the Rain. I love that one.
Yeah. Right. Don't sleep on Blame It on the Rain just because you found out they didn't sing it. They were hit.
I don't hold it against them.
We also have the class pick, Jen Sherman's 60-minute 80s ride, March 19th at 10 a.m. Eastern time. That was submitted by Rachel Spins 24. She says, great music and felt like an epic sing-along ride. Cool stuff.
That one was great because I'm sure you saw Jen's stories. She was actually soliciting for all requests. So it was all music. It was all music that we had sent her, that all the members had sent in her when she put the question up on her Instagram stories. Now, I was a little bummed. I sent her some really, really choice 80s songs, and she did not use any of my recommendations. So as the class kept getting, further and further into it, I was like, okay, I don't hear Dancing on the Ceiling right now.
Right.
But she also, I'm not that salty because she also didn't, and she would mention who this recommendation was from.
Okay.
She would give credit to whoever, if it was multiple people. She actually didn't use any of like her regulars, her most loyal. So I feel like she probably didn't want to play favorites or what have you, but it was still a great ride. I was just, I was like, I sent all these great songs and I was like, damn, she didn't even throw me a bone on one of them, but whatever. I still love you, Jen.
That's all good. It's all good. It's good stuff though. I got spreading wealth, gets more in the community, and that, any little piece of a connection to a shout out is just a draw in. So like I get it.
I know. It's just my selfishness, That's how I am. All right. So next up we got Benny's 30-minute low impact ride. We got this from Panders Andy, Amajar 3, Noah Smolsky. Oh man, this is a paragraph of text here. All right. It says, I was on my third class in the studio after Mila and Eric, both of which were fabulous, but Benny was on fire. The studio, I got to scroll over to read this. The studio was electric, and Benny was so set up for it. The day before, my fabulous friend Trisha, who is Broadway Trish on the leaderboard, had taken her son Patrick for a blind date on the hit ride on Saturday. Blind date on a hit ride? Jesus. On Sunday, we managed to get a waitlist slot for Patrick again for the second date, and Benny was amazing. The whole ride is wonderful, and the music was awesome, but the message Benny gives at the end is worth the whole show. Love is love. You just have to see it. Since his 365 Pride ride, Benny has come alive as an instructor. Ride this one and smile, and then have a tear in your eye at the end. I did. That is high praise right there.
That's what I'm talking about. Yes.
And then switching gears to PSNY, we got Allie Love's 30-minute Dance 100 ride from the 19th. Few folks submitted this one. Julie White, 19, Teresa Ann Lena, Vicky Toria, Jess Alves, Love Squad Peloton. They said the choreographers from the new Netflix show Ally hosted were in the studio for this class.
Yeah, that was pretty cool. Like I saw kind of the aftermath after the class had taken and saw what was going on in studio afterwards, and then caught some glimpses of it. But yeah, I thought that was pretty cool that the choreographers from your Dance 100 show were there. If they weren't familiar,
have you watched the show on Netflix?
Oh yeah, I watched it. And me and Erica kind of sat down and caught it when it at first, premiered.
When it dropped,
first couple episodes, and yeah, it's like the choreographer is in their choreographed piece, and then once it's done, like the dancers, not only the judges, the dancers can talk about how well the choreographer did in piecing this thing together. That's an interesting dynamic to kind of see their dancer, be good with or not the work that the that the choreographer pieced together. So it's like a really interesting show. We love it.
Yeah,
it's good stuff. So also we have Hannah Corbin's 10-minute bar upper body from March 20th at 10:05 a.m. Eastern, and this comes in from VA Rides 07. They say spicy arm workout you can do anywhere. Great for traveling members or just stacking it to a cardio ride run. She uses music that makes you want to dance and forget for a little bit how long you've had your arms up in the air. Well, that's always good. The bar is tough. It looks tough. I tried a little once there. I can't handle it. And then we got Callie Gullickson's 30-minute full body strength from March 20th at noon Eastern. And that comes from Jason D and Amajar 3. And they say awesome 2x3 circuit, an awesome 5x3 circuit, then a complex circuit, and core work. Core work I need. I need core work.
Next up, we got Dennis's 45-minute intervals and arms from the 20th, brought to you by Azonian. They said, can you ever go wrong with Dennis? I don't think so. And then Ash Pryor and Katie Wong's 20-minute WHM 2-for-1 row from the 20th. This one was submitted by Nikki Link Will. They said, first ever 2-for-1 row, and great to see their friendship shine through.
Good stuff. And then we have Hannah Frankston and Jocelyn Thompson Rule and their 30-minute Women's History Month 2-for-1 tread boot camp from March 21st at 3 p.m. Eastern. That comes to us from Rack 0618 and Dippin.22 and Pedal Cranker. And they say, love both of their energies in this one. So much fun. Yeah, Hannah and Jocelyn are awesome. Then we've got Jeff Sims' 45-minute Jock Jams boot camp. Jess loves her Jock Jams. From March 21st.
Yeah.
Oh, you did? Oh, that's cool.
Yeah, it was tough. Burpees, lots of burpees.
Burpees. Yeah, it's killing me with the burpees. March 21st at noon Eastern. That came to us from Wayfinder_JKU, Dippin.22, Irish Brit, Anna Banana 114, Tabitha Adams 937, Karen M. Scaberry, and Strong as a Mother. They say, awesome music, hard workout, great playlist, and energy. I bet. It's, Jock Jams, it's chess. That makes sense.
And then rounding out the picks of the week. Got to finish it up with Alex's 30-minute AT's Ride to Greatness practice ride from the 22nd. Tahoe Mama gave us this one. They said, fun practice round to get ready for the real game on, well, it says Friday, but it's Saturday. It was Saturday. Yeah.
I'm not going any harder than I would have gone in practice in the real game.
It's only 20 minutes, too.
It's only 20 minutes.
Get your get your cool down in.
That's right.
It makes a difference. Definitely, warm up makes a difference.
Oh yeah.
Even if it's 5 minutes.
I like stretch beforehand, and I'm like, okay, I'm good to go. But if you then get that like quick workout in as well, and to me, it's like an extension to the stretch for me. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
If that makes sense, right? So yeah, I agree with you. Like, kind of important to do that.
Nice. Well, that does it for this week. Thank you for filling in again.
Yeah,
Great having
of
you.
course.
It's always
Always a pleasure.
fun chatting, giving the Pelo news with you and going back and forth on stuff.
Yeah, it's always
Sharing,
seeing you, John.
Sharing about our 23rd Street memories are always fun to rehash.
Yeah, you took me back. You took me back with the DJs that they would.
Yeah.
I forgot all about that. You're right. That was a different thing. That's when I really started to grasp like a true appreciation for the dynamic that John, brings to the table. Yeah.
Those are the days when you could actually select the spot where you could be in the studio.
Yeah. Remember that?
I kind of miss those. I kind of miss those times, not having to line up, not having to queue up, but
Me too.
anyways, thank you again for filling in, and I'm on spring break next week, so I don't know what we're going to have in store in terms of an episode. But again, looking forward to co-hosting with you again in the future.
I'm looking forward to it as well, and I appreciate it. Thank you so much, and for the team here for asking me to do so. I enjoy it.
Great. Well, from me here in Michigan, appreciate you always tuning in from all over to watch and listen to us. And as always, we will see you on the leaderboard. Bye for now.
Thank you for watching Pelo Buddy TV, your source for everything Peloton, by the community, for the community. Work out with us using the Pelo Buddy TV leaderboard tag and find us on Facebook, Instagram, and Twitter at Pelo Buddy. Don't forget that we have a podcast available so that you can listen to us while on the move. Just search for Pelo Buddy TV on any major platform and hit the subscribe button so you never miss an episode.